Joe Biden won the election. That's my position. I think it's very harmful that we continue to visit and revisit this non-issue. Do we believe in reality? And I'm a reality Republican. I'm a moderate Republican. But you'll never hear me calling the Democrats communists or Bolsheviks or saying that they're trying to destroy the country. They have very different ideas, but we need to work together. And that's what I plan to do in Congress. Thank you.
Charlie Lutin is running for Congress in Georgia's 14th district. That district is currently represented by, you guessed it, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Charlie is running in the primary against Taylor Greene. He is a Republican and the first Republican ever to agree to speak with me. Now, I watched the debate between Lutin and Taylor Greene, and I reached out to him and asked him for an interview because I was so impressed with him. And I thank you for being here with me, Charlie, and I thank you for your presence on that stage when I watched the debate last night. I was really happy to have you there.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm an underdog, and I need all the exposure I can get.
40 years as a doctor, correct? A lot of time spent in the emergency room?
Yep, 35 years in hospital ERs, 5 years in the U.S. Air Force as a flight surgeon.
When you think about the 14th district, can you talk to me a little bit about what it was that motivated you to throw your hat in the ring? You had to know you were an underdog from the get-go, but you did it anyway. And
it's very simple. Marjorie motivated me. And Marjorie's going to continue to motivate me because I just don't think she's good for the country. When I was 54 years old, I took an oath and put on a uniform, served in the Air Force, and I think that running against Marjorie is just as important, probably more important public civic duty than joining and serving in the military. I think it's a national duty that we need to get irritating politicians. Irritating is a very mild word for Marjorie. She's just a bad influence for the entire political system. She needs to go home or go somewhere else.
Can you talk a little bit about specifically the deficiencies that you see in her character?
Well, she's extremely divisive. She's angry. She does not distinguish between the truth and a lie, although I think she knows the difference between the truth and a lie, and she knows the difference between reality and fantasy, but it just makes no difference to her. She does not seem to care about the people in the district. She certainly does not seem to care about anyone who has a differing opinion from hers. And maybe she needs to go home.
Respectfully to the people in the 14th district, why is she so popular? Why is she able to accumulate vast amounts of money?
I think it's an illusion that she is popular. Now, she does have her supporters, but in my experience, and I've been in every county and every town in this district more than once. I mean, I have been everywhere in the 14th congressional district, and that's not an exaggeration. I think her popularity rating is somewhere in the range of about 35%, about 1 out of 3. Now, it's the ones who speak, and it is certainly the ones who go to the GOP functions, the monthly county GOP meetings. When you go to an event like that, it's wall-to-wall Marjorie supporters. But, that is not the general opinion in the district. People around here are sick of her antics, and they're ready for something else other than Marjorie Greene. It's hard for me to believe. In fact, I do not believe that more than perhaps about 10 congressmen would even take a call from Marjorie at this point. She's extremely toxic. And I think if Marjorie reads a real tough book twice a week for the rest of her life, maybe when she's 75 years old, she'll know what I know. But I doubt it.
I'm just going to run through a number of different issues, and I'd like you to tell me where you stand on them. The big lie, Biden did not truly win the election. It actually was a Trump victory stolen away from him. What is your position on that?
Well, let me expand this a little bit. This requires more than just a few word answer. Number one, in 2020, we had several thousand state, county, and municipal elections all around the United States, and in only one election is there any alleged fraud or irregularity. Now, if there's some kind of major conspiracy to throw the whole electoral system, how likely is it that we're going to throw one election and leave all the others alone? Number two, when you look at Mr. Trump's career, he's had to settle 4 cases related to business fraud. And, these are serious cases. Inequality in housing, the Trump University. I mean, he's made a career out of fraudulent practices. Number 3, the Trump forces had 65 chances to present in court any evidence for fraudulent activity that had occurred. And not only did they not present any evidence of fraud, they're now backing away from the previous allegations that were made that the Dominion voting system was irregular, or that there was some kind of conspiracy among the Democrats. It's nuts. And yet, many of our leaders, including Marjorie Greene, are touting this lie about the stolen election, and that's what it is. There was no conscious fraud in the election, except afterwards, when the Oval Office got involved and all of the various attorneys.
Had you been in Congress at the time, would you have voted to certify Biden as the president?
Yes, of course.
How is fundraising going for your campaign?
How much have you got?
Well, I can't find my wallet at the moment, so, nothing for now, but I do have some relatives who might be able and willing to throw a little money your way.
You tell your relatives about this kind of strange Republican you talk to. My campaign fund, you're looking at the campaign fundraiser, and, advertising is not inexpensive.
I don't have the biggest audience, and I don't know how many of them are in Georgia, and I don't know how many of them are open to casting a vote for you, but allow me to give you 30 seconds to make your pitch. And if you'd like to include a website in there where people can make donations, I will make sure to include that in this interview.
Thank you. My website is lutinforcongress.org, one long word with nothing, no punctuation or spaces, lutinforcongress.org, and vote for me, and hopefully contribute a few bucks, because I do believe, I hope I do believe I'm the only one that has got the right approach to take this fight to Marjorie and win it.
If she is the candidate in November, will you vote for her?
I don't see me voting for Ms. Greene under any circumstances, anytime, anywhere.